Yo, what's up everyone? It's your boy Looney, and today this market went crazy. We went from war scares to peace and now possibly war again, all in one day. But before we get into it, I want to do a quick shout out to the Discord community. It is free to join, and then I also offer a premium membership, and you get access to trade alerts, one-on-one coaching. I have a selling options course as well. I also have giveaways. You can check it out. The links to all that are in the description, but let's get into it. So earlier today, Iran attempted to attack a U.S. military base in Qatar, but the strike failed. I believe 6 out of the 7 were deflected, and one of them not even causing harm. So they didn't even bother acknowledging it. And due to that, the markets dipped hard on that fear. We could see that early this morning. We saw massive volatility at 9:30 and even later in the afternoon. And during that time, I was able to sell puts, and we're going to get into that and how I actually reacted to that drop. Then right after that, the U.S. ordered a ceasefire, and allegedly Iran and Israel both agreed. I don't know. I was looking at sources online. I don't know how official it was, but essentially they were trying to create peace in this mayhem. And ever since then, the markets ripped, and it ripped all the way to after hours, and the markets basically flipped. Everything just ended up green, and I was able to open up some covered calls and other positions, but now we're seeing Iran just broke that ceasefire. So I'm very curious to see where the market's going to go. I mean, this just came out on X, so I don't know how credible the source is, but that is what I have heard or have read, and this just happened like minutes ago, so I haven't had the chance to do a full breakdown of it. But because of that, I'm very curious to see where we stand. But today I ended up 1.7 on the day, 1.7%. But I also want to go over a new position that I bought the dip on. So today, HIMS dipped almost 30% on the day. We could see here it was down 34% during market open, and then overnight it is up 4%. And I'm basically even. I basically bought it at 43.88. And I have a daily buy, and I'm just going to dollar cost average. There was news of that Novo ended their partnership with him. So they've been negatively affected by this. And I'm not able to afford a put sell on it because you do need 4,000 cash. But if I did have the cash, this would be a great opportunity to sell a put, taking into account my allocation. So I might not have done this if I only had $4,000 cash, but if I had like 10,000, maybe I could spare it to buy this, because if it does dip and I only have $4,000 cash, then I don't have any more cash left. So that's why I only ended up with 5 shares, because now if it does dip, I could at least dollar cost average down. And I do plan to sell off these shares if I see 100% return. I don't know when that's going to happen or even if it's going to happen, but until then, just simply dollar cost average. Now, on the other hand, on this dip, I was able to sell puts. I sold put on Mara today during that dip. I'm going to try and find exactly where. I think it was this $12 put, meaning I'm okay with getting assigned at Mara at this price. So because of that, I opened it today and I got $31 to open this trade. Now, at the time, Mara was trading pretty low. I believe I opened it really early in the morning. So it was around that 13.5 price. So I was able to get a good premium, $31, about a 2.5% return if this is a successful trade. And right now we're seeing it above 14.5. And I did close a few trades for a profit. If we go to my realized gains on the week, I closed a few today, and then HIMS, I did have a credit spread that I just wanted to cut my losses on. And it was at that 47 strike, and I couldn't expect this 30% drop. So I ended up just closing it, because that even if it does recover to $47, I at least have the shares now to realize that gain. And yes, I closed some calls and collected some of that gain And what else do we have going on? So I did close the few trades, and I opened up when we saw the market start pumping back. I believe at like 10 is when I started to do it because I didn't know where we were actually going, whether it was going to dip again or not. I ended up selling more calls on my shares. So I did Mara calls and Neo calls, just collecting premium and going into my buying power and just having it aside now. Now, looking ahead towards the end of this week, there is a chance that I do get assigned on this $14 put. And it's currently out of the money, but if we do see this volatility or this ceasefire that Iran broke, and whether it's going to negatively affect the market. But at least the stock doesn't look like it's hurting too bad right now. But it does truly go to show that you shouldn't panic sell or you don't FOMO in. Just simply dollar cost average or buy low and sell high. I know that's a really generic saying, but on red days is when you should be accumulating. And that's what I'm doing. I'm selling puts on red days, and when things turn green, it's a good time to sell covered calls. Now, I don't always do that rule. There is some outliers, but overall, that is what I try to do, and just buying the dips. And I did roll, or technically rolled a covered call. I closed the trade and then opened a new one. Rolling, you do that all in one go, but overall, it is a new position opened. Now, on the other side, we had crypto, did really well today. We saw Bitcoin recovering up almost 4%. And I have a very small position because I did sell off a bunch of my Bitcoin and just have it cash aside waiting for a sort of pullback or maybe even a crash. So that was my strategy with crypto. And my game plan moving forward is to keep this cash. I mean, we could see how useful having cash is. I was able to take advantage of this dip and this just massive volatility. We started off red in the day, and then we continued downwards going further, and then quickly jumped back up, and then once again a crash. I didn't do much during this crash, middle of the day, but I just let things play out, and just by letting things play out, we saw that massive jump to the upside. And overall, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging, keep buying every day, and not panic sell, and not FOMO in. Now, if you want to learn how to trade around news like this, like I just did, check out the free Discord. The links are in the description. And if you want trade alerts, one-on-one coaching, and my selling options course, that is all in the premium membership. And I offer an $8 a month along with other types of payments. So yes, the markets are wild, but if you just stay patient, stay sharp, and just stay overall ready, we could profit from volatility. Until next time, peace.